Well, good morning. I know it's like a minute late. We were having some trouble with Instagram this morning, so their protocol wasn't working. So sorry, Instagram, I had to leave you out today. Well, welcome to a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus, where we are going to spend about the next 30 minutes together with a little beauty on the outside and a whole lot of beauty on the inside. So, our foundation verse for this podcast is Psalm 119, verse 11. I have hidden your word in my heart that I might not sin against you. And then all of our verses are going to be coming from the Word in Color coloring book, and you can see a little QR code on your screen there for that. And then there's also a link that you'll see in the show notes as well. So let's review last week's verse. Let me get over there. Okay, last week's verse. The Lord is my strength and my song. And this comes from Exodus 15:2. And this week, we are going to be learning this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice. Psalm 118:24. And I don't know about you, but I think we could all use a little bit more joy. So this will be a treasure to work on this verse this week. I don't know if you've taken a sneak peek at the coloring page too, but I love this week's coloring page. So it's going to take you a little bit of time to work through that one because it's a little more complicated than some of the others. So just be ready for that. All right, so let me get ourselves set up here. There we go. We got that verse scrolling on the bottom, so we can be looking at that and reviewing that while we're working today. So this week we are going to be focusing on blue. We're going to have a blue day today. So it doesn't matter what set of colors you've brought with you. You're going to need a light, a medium, a dark, and then some kind of a topper, some kind of shimmer or some kind of glitter. Any color combination will do for what we're doing, and I'll let you know as we go along which shade degree you're going to be using. So we are going to start out with our Urban Decay primer. This is the All Nighter. I love the grip in this. It helps your makeup to stay in place. One puff will do you. Just one puff on that middle finger. Then you're just going to blend that together.
That's not nice.
Sorry, evidently Siri wanted to get in on the conversation. All right, and I see some of you here on with me today. Great to see you today. Nice to starting to see some familiar faces. And I'll try to go back in and catch some of your questions at the end. As my hands are being used for makeup application, I can't quite do the chat thing at the same time. So, all right, now we're going to move on to the IT Cosmetics. This is the Bye Bye Under Eye. Whatever concealer you have with you. Now for this one, it does much better if you let it warm up just a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to do just a very tiny string. We're going to put it on and let it warm up naturally on the skin. So we're going to put it about where we want it to be. If you have any hyperpigmentation or scarring or pimple going on at the time, you just cover it wherever you need it to be. We're going to let that set for just a second, let that body temperature warm that up. And then we're going to be using our beauty blender. Today it is the Real Techniques Miracle Air Blend Sponge. Love this one. Small tip used for the concealer. So now we're just going to blend that out. I've got a lot of redness, so what you're going to see here is I'm going to kind of blend it down to my cheek to kind of cancel out that redness there. And then I sort of use it like an eye primer, so I'm just going to blend it out up here as well. All right, once everything has a soft edge, you've got it blend out nice, you are finished. For foundation, I'm going to be using the Lancome Tinty Doll. This is the Ultra Wear in shade 215 Buff. And you can do a pump on the back of your hand and dip it into it if you want to. I just like to do small little pumps about that big and then do different sections of the face at a time. I usually start in the center and work my way out. So we're going to just kind of dab it on there. Blend it out. Another pump's going to do the cheek over here. Kind of a dabbing, swiping motion. You don't want to swipe too much and like remove everything you're putting on. But too much pouncing, you get these little spots. So, yeah, that's the technical term. Spot. Okay, another pump. Well, not a full pump, just a little partial. Okay, we want to make sure we blend this out nice to the chin. So we're just going to do just a tiny little bit here. Blend that out. There we go. One more little partial pump and we'll catch the forehead. Sorry, just keeping the hair out of it. Okay, making sure we're getting around those brows good. We don't want that foundation to just like stop right when it gets to the brows, excuse me. All right, there we go. Now we've got that on all nice and blended out. Just check, make sure you got everything. There we go. All right, now we're going to move on to our setting powder. I like the Lancome Long Time No Shine. Comes with this really nice puff inside there. So we're going to take well, actually, I've got a pretty good amount of powder in there right now. So just a little bit of powder. Going to go under the eye first. I like to leave just a little bit extra underneath here so that if I do experience any fallout from the eyeshadow, I've got something that it can just swipe off of easily. So for the rest of the face, I'm going to tap it upside down a few times and then just work it out from the center out. I know I've said this before, but I like the puff better than a brush. The brush tends to like fluff powder everywhere, and I hate dusting. So there's that. Okay, catch the top here. And you're just kind of pressing it in to that foundation. Just giving it a good nice set. And for me, with the combo skin, having to control the oil. I think I missed a little bit over here, so I'm just going to do that one more time. There we go. Okay. Now, in still working on our complexion, we are going to do a little bit of contouring. So I am using the Cheek in the Mail. This is from Benefit. This was part of a Christmas collection that they did, but I believe they still have it on their website. We're going to be using a It Cosmetics brush. Love the two ends of this. This will be for the bronzer, the darker side, and this will be for the highlighter. So we're going to start out with, here, let me show you the colors. This is what it looks like. We're going to use, actually it's Hula here in the center and then Cookie on the outside. We'll be using those two colors from this palette. So we're just going to give it a couple of swipes. Going to go just above where that cheekbone is here. There we go. And just kind of giving it a little bit of a curve there. Want to give the illusion I have cheekbones I don't actually have. Then a light tap here. Going to go up along the hairline, give a little dimension. I'm going to use the side of the brush and just come below that cheek line. I mean jawline, excuse me. There you go. You want to stop about right where the center of your eye is. You don't want to come in too far. Then we're going to dip the tip of that brush just in lightly, give our nose a little definition. And now we're going to do the highlighter. The highlighter is going to go on the top And then the blush we'll use to fill in between. So for right now, let's get the highlighter. Highlighter's going to run down the center of your face. Make sure you hit that Cupid's bow. It's going to give you a little bit of a fuller lip look. Alrighty, and now for the blush, we're going to be using the Juvia's Place, and this is the Blushed Volume 4. I love these colors. Now these are very pigmented, so do a gentle tap with this when you do this. And I'll actually be using the darker of the two. Literally, I'm just going tap, tap, and then you're good. You're going to go in between where you just did the bronzer and the highlighter. Tap, tap. All right, we're going to cover over that bronzer just a tidge. Okay, so now that we've got the all our foundation is done, we're ready to step into the lips, but let's take a look over our verse first. Let me get it up a little bit bigger for you. There you go. There we go. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice. Psalm 118:24. And as you're doing your makeup, just keep kind of saying that in your head as we go along. So we are now going to be using, this is the Urban Decay 24/7 lip pencil, and this is in the shade Jilted. So we're going to line on the edge of our lip so that we can, I don't like to overline, but you're almost overlining. All right. And then we're going to make sure we get a nice little V going on there. Now we're going to take our pencil with a little less pressure and line just to the inside of those lines we just put on there. Just give a little bit of a smudge. Check the lips from distance. Make sure you got both the sides even. There we go. And now we're going to be using the lipstick. Today I am using MAC. What shade is this? This is MAC, a Flat Out Fabulous. And a beautiful pink kind of color. So you're going to make sure you go all the way to the edge of that lip liner. We don't want to see the lip liner just standing there by itself. Hit that Cupid's bow nice. Don't smudge your lips too much. If you do that, you'll end up with, what do you call them? Goobies on the outside corner of your lips. Okay. My dad would be so proud. That was one of the words he used to say when I was a kid. That's the name of the ketchup stuff on the top of the bottle when you don't clean it off before you put it in the refrigerator, all that crusty junk. Those are called goobies. All right. So now we're going to step on to the fun part, which is our eyeshadow. Today we're going to be using the Wahala 2. And like I said, we're going to be primarily doing blue. So we're going to be hanging out in Dream. We're going to use a little Wicked. Up here, we're going to use some Flame. Oh, I'm sorry, Fame. And then we're going to use a topper of Goals. Goals is pretty glittery, but you can use just a shimmer if you want. You don't got to glitter if you don't want to. Okay, so we are going to start over with just an all over eyeshadow brush. This is from It Cosmetics. We're going to start out with that Fame, which is our lightest color. So whatever your lightest color is that you've chose, kind of a fleshy color, maybe a light pink, light tan. And you're just going to put that shadow right there between the brow bone and the eyebrow. It should almost be like a non-color color. There we go. This one does have a little shimmer to it. If you like shimmer, wear shimmer. If you like matte, then wear matte. It does not matter how old you are. Okay, and then we're going to come in with the darkest shade, which is Dream, just using a regular eyeshadow brush. Dream is the darkest shade. Couple of taps, and you're going to come into the inside of the eye. And then we're also going to do the outside. Going to leave that middle part empty for right now. Just going to do about a third on this side here and about a third on this side here. So depending on the level of darkness of the color that you have, that'll tell how many times you need to go over. But once you've got it the color that you want, then you're good. Okay, so now we got that side. You can see it's a little messy. That's okay. We'll clean it up in a minute. Okay, we're gonna go to the other side, do the same thing over here. Go into the outside corner. Okay, and then I want to make sure I've got it up tall enough. So I'm gonna just step at it this way. And remember, you can do this with whatever color. These could be browns, these could be purples, pinks, whatever. You just need your darkest one here. Okay, now we're going to step to the medium color. And for me, this shade is Wicked. So we're going to take another same shade brush that we just used. Going to go in that Wicked and just put it on that center. Make sure it meets up to the top where you've got that other shade. Let's kind of go over the edges there. Checking again to make sure the top is even. There we go. And step back a little bit. Make sure you've got the height of both of those the same. This one's a little bit lower. Okay. Now you can see what we've got right now is kind of a harsh line. No harsh lines. So we are going to take another brush, same brush that we just used. This time you're going to use another medium lightish shade. For me, I'm going to be using the Too Much, which is a pink. Got a lot of blue going on here. We need to break it up just a tiny bit. So Too Much is a pink. We're just going to take the end and tap it in the color. So it's just lightly on there. And then we're going to go over this line with that pink. And just going to blend it out to where we don't have that harsh line. There you go. Same thing on the other side. If you get too much of that dark color on the tip of the brush, you may need to just kind of tap it out on the tissue. There we go. Okay, and now to make sure that that nice medium color we just put in blends out to the top, you're going to take that brush again that you did that top one and just blend that out a little bit so that they're all seamlessly together. Make sure you catch the inside of that eye so you don't have any harsh lines. And now you're ready for your topper. Okay, so toppers usually work better if you just use the tip of your finger. And I am going to be using Dope. So Dope is kind of a nice shimmery blue. Just take that on the tip of your finger. put that right over that middle color. Okay. And I see a little bit. There we go. Let me grab that pink brush. Okay, much better. Actually, I think I may use a little bit gold. I feel like dope was not quite glittery enough. So let's do that. There we go. Okay. Oh, there we go. That's much better. So you can see both our shadows are coming up to about the same space. Oh, that's nice. Okay, let's get that off there. There we go. Always keep a fluffy brush nearby. You never know when you're going to need it. Okay, now if I can get this glitter off my finger, there we go. So we're going to switch over to our eyeliner and then come back and do that shadow under the bottom. So keep your eyeshadows open for right now. I am going to be using this is the NYX Retractable in black. And we're going to do the top lid about a third of the way over. On both sides. And then the bottom lid, about the same. It's going to be about a third of the way, maybe a half. And I am going to put false eyelashes on, so I'm going to need a little something something for them to stick to. So I'm going to be using this is the Better Than Sex Easy Glide Liner. The thing I like about this one is it's kind of foolproof. Uh, I'm not that great with liquid liner, but you almost can't mess this one up. It's actually a brush tip, I believe, but it is very fine. So we're going to do a thin line across the entire lid, upper lid, making sure we catch all the way in so we're given a nice surface for those lashes to stick to. You can get a little heavy if you want. I just like it a little thin just to give the lashes something to go onto. There you go. Gonna come over here. And you don't have to worry too much about it being, 100% even because you're fixing to stick some lashes on there. Okay, now I did tell you that we were going to add a little bit of shadow on the underneath. So we're going to take an angled liner brush and you're going to choose your darkest shadow and then also the medium shadow that you used in the middle. So we're going to start out with the darkest shade that we used. For me, that was the shade of Dream. And you are going to put it right up next to that liner that you just did. And you're going to go about halfway across. There you go. Other side. Okay. Take a tissue and kind of swipe that off. And now you're going to go to that medium color. For me, that was Wicked. And we're going to do the inside of the eyeliner with that. All right, so now we have some color down below the eye as well. Just gonna dust that off, make sure. There we go. Everything is good there. So, kind of a little bit of a funky thing that we're going to do with the eyebrows today. For those of you who have fashion color hair, this is a little secret that I use. But first, let's take a look at that verse together. Okay, so our verse for this week is this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice. And that's Psalm 118:24. Okay, now let's get to our brows. So I'm actually going to use the Bad Gal Bang. This is a colored mascara. I have blue on the tips of my hair, so I've used it before and I thought it would go well. So we're just going to take that mascara, very fine wand, and we're going to tint our brows. Make sure you kind of fluff that hair a little bit so that it actually gets the color on it. There we go. Now get a little more product on there. Go to the other side. One thing I like about using the colored mascara versus some of the brow products is the mascara actually gives you a nice stiff brow that stays where it's supposed to. So that's kind of a nice side effect. Okay. Once you get those brows colored the way you want and exactly where you want, okay. Yeah, so that'll work for our brows. And now we're going to put away our eyeshadow palette. And let's move to our lashes. So I am going to be using today, of course, my Tarte Lash Curler, favorite. And then I'll be using the Hourglass, and this is the Unlocked mascara. I also always have on hand a little mini magnifier mirror. Just helps me be able to see everything as we're going along. So here's what I do. I say the Bible verse while I'm curling my lashes because that's about the right amount of time that you need for your lashes to curl. So let's do this. So going up against that lash line, but not pinching your skin. Grab every lash you can, and then we'll say that together. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice. Psalm 118:24. Okay, go to the next side. There we go. Not there. Okay, this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice. Psalm 118:24. Okay, now we're good to do our mascara. Things I love about this mascara. It's not a waterproof, but it is a water resistant, so it doesn't go anywhere. No flaking, chipping, cracking. It's not weighty, so you don't have to worry about your lashes getting weighed down from the mascara. So we're just going to do one coat because we're putting on false lashes. And all I'm doing is turning my white lashes to a black lash so they blend in there together. And that's always fun when you get an extra little hair in there. Okay, it happens. There we go. And now let's do those bottom lashes. I think I like my bottom lashes more than my top lashes, so I always make sure to hit those. Just giving a nice even coat, making sure they all stay separated. There we go. Let's Let's move to the other side. I just saw a couple more of you join. So good to have you with us. Everything that you've missed so far, don't worry about it. It's going to be online, so you can watch the first part of it later, but good to have you with us. All right. So now we are to the lashes. Okay, and today I'm going to be using the Nubian lash. This is the Egyptian flare. I love the flares. The Egyptian, one of my favorite things is because it's a little uneven. You don't get like that perfect lash lift. I don't want to look like lashes. So these are a little uneven. There's also a little dimension if you look at the lash from this direction. You can see they're kind of not just side to side different, not just front to back different, but they're also up and down different. And then the flare means that it is skinny on the inside and wider on the outside. I just like the way that that finishes off looking on my face. So I would encourage you get one of those multi-packs if you don't usually wear lashes. I know Ilura does them where they have several different kinds of lashes in a set. I believe theirs is a 12 or a 14 pack. And then, try each different lash. Take a selfie of each one and see which one you like best for your face, your shape, and your eye shape. So today I'm going to be using the Active Duo, and this is in black. I don't usually use a black. Oh, you know what I did forget? I forgot my lash tool. Pardon me a moment. All right. So my lash tools that I like are going to be the velours. They're amazing. I've had them for a long time. They're metal. They're very durable. This little tool right here is fantastic for cleaning out your lashes, getting them to, fan out correctly again. So we're just going to use that little lash tool, kind of like the tweezer, and then the lash adhesive, and we're going to apply that across the band there. Like I was saying, I don't usually use black adhesive because if you set it down, you get a black mark. But this was a listed as a active, so you're supposed to be able to wear lashes with it when you work out. So I thought I'd give it a try. All right, so we're going to get one set on there. Now let's do the other side. Okay, and you're just applying a thin bead of that across the top. I also like to hit this little bit lower of the back side, making sure that you're also catching the outside corners, that they've got plenty of the adhesive on there so that you don't get any lifting. So we are going to let that set for just a second. So what time is that? It is time to say our Bible verse. Okay, so while we're waiting for that glue to set, the Lord is my, wait, that's not the right verse for today. There we go. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice. Psalm 118:24. Okay, so now we're going to grab that first lash that we put adhesive on. We're going to grab it in the center. And then we're going to set it down right in the center first and then walk it around and let it line. So setting it down in the center. There you go. I like to do the inside edge next. Just touch that down there and then go to the outside and walk that around over here. I don't think my glue is quite set. Usually you can tell by the level of wetness that you feel when you set it down. Um, you don't want it to feel like gooey wet. So evidently this glue takes just a little bit longer to set than some others. But hey, if it lasts well, that's okay. Okay, now we're going to grab the other lash. Because this one was a little wet still, we're going to give it a couple little fans, see if we can get that fanned out. And then let's set this one. Setting it down in the middle first. There we go. And this one I'm actually going to walk the outside first. There we go. Now let's catch that inside. Just kind of pressing down, making sure all of that band has made good contact with that eyelid there. Looks like a little of that drip of that adhesive got on my skin. That's not very nice. Okay, there we go. Walking that around, making sure we're still good. Like I said, this was a little wet still. Okay, I think we're good. Felt good, went on pretty nice. Now I do have this little bit of glue right there that's it. So I'm going to take a little tiny, this is actually a shadow brush, but we're going to take just a tiny, tiny bit of foundation and just cover that bad boy up. Okay, and now let's take our fluffy brush, this one right here. I'm going to dip it just in the top of that, what I have left sitting in that long time no shine, and we're just going to let that go over. There you go, like it never happened. All right. So the last thing that we need to do, we've got everything on except we do not have our setting spray. This is the Urban Decay. This is the De-Slick. So just give it a little bit of a shake. Tilt your head back. There you go. Fan that down a little. Now your foundation and all of your makeup is set and ready to go. So let's take a look over here. First off, I'd like to say thank you so much for hanging out with me this morning. I look forward to chatting with you throughout the week on social media. So let's just do a little reverse review of the verses that we have so far. So our first week, actually, let me get this there. There we go. First week we did 1 Peter 1:24 and 25. The grass withers and the flowers fall, but the word of the Lord endures forever. And that was 1 Peter 1:24 and 25. Then we moved on to Philippians 4:13. Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. Then in episode 3, we worked on 2 Corinthians 12:9. Let me get that up there for you. God's grace is all you need, 2 Corinthians 12:9. In Exodus 4, we did Joshua 1:9. Be strong and courageous, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go, Joshua 1:9. And then last week we did, there we go, uh, the Lord is my strength and my song. That comes from Exodus 15:2. And then this week we're working on this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice. Psalm 118:24. Again, we are looking at all of these verses are coming from the Word in Color coloring book, and that link is again on your screen for you. This is an affiliate link, which means if you use that, I do get paid a very fractional amount of money for that. So it's kind of like giving me a tip. Thank you so much. And then until we meet again, my friends, the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you. The Lord lift his countenance upon you and give you peace. And that comes from Numbers 6:24 and 25. Oh, Father, thank you so much for my friends who came to hang out with me here today. Thank you for letting us put a little beauty on the outside and a whole lot of beauty on the inside. I pray that you would be with us this week and that you would guard our hearts and our minds, that we would wake up each day refreshed and put on the whole armor of God. Father, help us this week as we work on this verse and learn to hide your word in our hearts. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. You have a beautiful day. I love you. God bless.